What's up guys, and welcome back to another episode of the Realistic Career Mode. This is episode number 54, and we start today's stuff. We're looking at our fixtures coming in March after 3 straight wins in a very quick month of February. Massive games coming this month though. Leeds away, FA Cup last 16, aiming to retain it. Then we've got 3 London sides, West Ham away, then Brentford and Arsenal both home, and of course the Europa League last 16, which has pitted us against Napoli, going for their first Scudetto. That is going to be an incredibly tough time. For the second year in a row, we have not had what you call the luck of the draw in the Europa League. First knockout round last year, of course, knocked out by Arsenal. So, yeah, first game of March, first game of today's episode on the back of 3 straight wins here, taking on Leeds away, then on road against our FA Cup. We won it last year, so we want to retain it. You would have seen my lineup here. The last 16 of the FA Cup now is always played in a midweek. It's never on the weekend. It's always in a midweek total fixture congestion. And that, of course, can make things quite difficult if you're really going for an important objective in the Premier League. So heading into the game, I was like, right, what squad do I pick for this game here on the back of the big win against Aston Villa? Do I go for a rotated side, or do I go for my regular first 11, even though not fully fit? Well, in the end, I did have a couple of starters out there, but for the most part, it was the backup brigade that really came up big in this one. Kefren Turam, who's been in unbelievable form for me recently, did open the scoring, but 64 minutes in, 19 minutes after the restart. Well, you've seen this season, he's been asking for more game time, otherwise he'll want to leave. Well, I gave him the captain's armband for tonight's fixture, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin heads in, converts from close range. Our second goal after Anthony Robinson rolls it across the floor. So Leeds 0, Everton 2. To be fair as well, on the other end, Jindrich Stanek, who we signed in last year's January transfer window, he's been a really good backup goalkeeper for me. This year, I've given him game time in the Cups, and he's done really well. Lest we forget, in the EFL Cup, he saved 3 straight penalties in our win over Wolves in the, I think it was the 3rd round of the EFL Cup. Didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things in the end, but even so, he's been good for me when filling in for Jordan Pickford. Made a crucial save there, the keeper still leading by 2, and then later on, DCL bags a brace as would win comfortably by 3 goals to 0. So, the winning run extended Everton into the last 8 of the FA Cup, and heading into the quarterfinals of our competition, we'll be facing, well, you just saw it flash up right there. It's them once again. We can't seem to avoid them. Arsenal in the quarterfinals. It's going to be away at the Emirates Stadium as well. So probably the toughest team we're going to face there, if not Manchester United or Spurs. But yeah, Arsenal came through the posh, and we've got them in the quarterfinals. So yeah, really tough draw there. I got to be honest, I was hoping for Reading. No disrespect to the Royals, but I was hoping for Reading. In the end, it is the Gunners right now in 8th place. To be fair, again, the Red Devils, Spurs, like they were still in it as well. So the chances were we were going to face one of the big boys, one of the big 6, but it is the Gunners away at the Emirates Stadium, man. That's going to be a really tough tie there. If we get back to Wembley for the 4th straight year. We've been to Wembley every single season to save. And if we want to reach the FA Cup semi-finals again and stay within the chance of retaining our FA Cup, we'll have to come through Mikel Arteta's Gunners. So, following game, talking of London teams, we're in London for the following one. West Ham away, David Moyes decided, taking them on the London Stadium here, aiming to stay top of the table. Now, you would have seen the table a moment ago there. We are still several points clear of Manchester United as we approach the business stage. I believe it's still 10 points clear. So heading into the game, there's no doubt about it now. Like, honestly, we talked in the last episode about imposter syndrome quite heavily. I talked about the fact that we're top of the table right now, yet there's still a lot of doubt in my mind. Do we really deserve to be here, and so on and so forth? There is no doubt about it now. After thrashing Leeds in midweek in the FA Cup, yeah, it's been a great run once again in the domestic cup this year, but right now, our main focus is don't you dare bottle the Premier League. So at the moment, we are top, and we deserve to be there as well because we are winning the big games. We are winning consecutively. We are winning on the road as well. And heading into this game, West Ham away is not an easy game. No doubt about that. But Romelu Lukaku scored a brace in the first half. We were leading by 2. Could have been 3 or 4 in it up, really. And we were absolutely dominating this game. So the question is now, can we just hold on? Can we just make sure we hold on to top spot as we approach the final stage of the season? Well, if we are going to do that, well, it's going to be a little bit more difficult now because Ben Godfrey, right after the restart, who's been an unbelievable defender for me this year, and I would say my best defender, even though Fofana is higher rated. I love Ben Godfrey. He's been here since the very beginning, signed from Norwich City, and before that, York City as well. Broke his toe early on in the first half, soldiered on for the rest of the game, but is now done for the season. No! Godfrey's finally in his prime at 28 years old, 84 rated, and yes, Fofana might be a rating high, but to me, he's been my best defender this year. Godfrey has come on leaps and bounds since this save began. I remember at the start of this save, I'll be honest here, Godfrey, he was okay. Like, he was alright, don't get me wrong. But at the time, we had James Tarkowski and Michael Keane and Yerry Mina. God, that seems like a long time ago, back in Season 1. And I'll be honest, Godfrey didn't really stand out, if you will. But now, he definitely is my best defender. And to know he's missing for the rest of the season, that's a big blow. So fair play to the guy. In the wars, as always, ensure we get the clean sheet there at West Ham and get the 3 points to stay top of the table. But the cost is that he's now done for the rest of the season. We will not see Ben Godfrey for the rest of the campaign. Tosin Adarabioyo, it's time to fill in. So for the following game, this would be one of the biggest of my managerial career and probably my biggest European game of managerial career. Yeah, absolutely, my biggest managerial game of my European career so far. Napoli away in Naples at the Stadio San Paolo, taking on the lads going for their first Scudetto this year. Of course, still in the Champions League, got a quarter-final tie, all-Italian affair against AC Milan. I said on Twitter, I genuinely think there's someone out there that started the season put like a tenner or 50 quid on a Napoli Champions League and League double. They're sweating right now. It's getting really real. But they've got an amazing team. They've got a couple of my favourite players in the game, Renato Sanchez, Tyler Adams. They've got the Georgian lad whose name I can never pronounce properly. It's a really good team. And oh yeah, lest we forget as well, they've got our former striker who we sold to them in Season 2. Moise Keane. You know he'd love to dump Everton out of the Europa League. So heading into the game, I showed you the team. I've got to say, I think we were slight underdogs for it. Slight underdogs heading into the game. And it wasn't really surprised to know with 9 minutes to go in the first half, in a half where I'd really struggled to get going. Jesper Karlsson, the Swede, makes it 1-0 and the hosts have the advantage. I really didn't get it going in the first half. Maybe taken back by the occasion. Last year we got to this stage and then we were humbled by Arsenal. Maybe I'm just coming up against a better team. I don't know what it was, but I was not playing well. And 12 minutes after the restart, Renato Sanchez, my favourite player in FIFA, makes it 2-0. We are 2 goals down in Naples. And at this point I was thinking, right, just keep calm. You know, keep calm. Because 1-0, it's not terrible. 2-0, okay, it's not great, but it's a 2-legged affair. Just don't let it become any worse. 8 minutes later, it's free. Enis Ünal, the Turkish forward, gets around his man, drills it past Jordan Pickford. Napoli 3, Everton 0, and we'd absolutely capitulated in the early stages of the second half. So down by 3, and the question was, well, how do we respond from this? We're 3-0 down, the game is over, and if it stays like this, then the tie is not over, but it's going to feel like it. 2 minutes to go in the game, we're down by 3, but Iliman Ndiaye, we love this guy to pieces, gets us a goal back and makes it 3-1. I was thinking, alright, okay, well, you know what, that makes it a little bit better for us. It reduces the deficit, it makes the scoreline look a little more flattering, if you will, even though I've played really poorly. I guess we'll take that there. But from kickoff, Napoli surrender possession, it's that man again, Ndiaye, who plays a 1-2 with Lukaku. His shot is saved by Matteo Perin, but Mavididi turns in the rebound and makes it 3-2, and in seconds, we'd gone from 3-0 down to only trailing by a goal. And whilst Marco Verratti and his teammates could applaud the fans after winning the first leg, I've got to say, we got out of that game and we escaped big time knowing that the tie is not over. We were dominated in possession. We only really had the 2 chances. 3 of our 4 shots, I think all of our 4 shots came in the final 15 minutes. But in the end, what could have been a disastrous first leg was bad, but not terrible. And it's certainly something we can salvage. 3-2, the final score. It means we go back to Goodison. And lads, I said to the boys in the dressing room, Pickford disappointed, the whole team disappointed. I said, lads, you got to realise this is a whole other leg to play at Goodison Park next Thursday. And this is not over. Yes, we're down by a goal. But I've got to be honest here. In a season where we've been so resilient and came back so many times to claim results, well, what's stopping us doing it once again, this time in Europe? With that, we'll end today's episode of the Realistic Career, guys. Big fan, which hope you enjoyed it. If you had, then please drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you for the next episode of the Realistic Career Mode. Now 13 points clear at the top very soon.